Miles Morales is Spider-Man. Hello, people. Um, recently I've tried to get back into comic books. And a friend of mine was, and basically, after a science test, I pretty much just went on Wikipedia and read a whole bunch of stuff about Spider-Man, and I learned about Miles Morales, the first African Spider-Man, African-American Spider-Man, whatever the PC term is. I thought I really liked his backstory and character, and I thought it was really cool. So I went to the comic book store, and it was closed. Then I went the next day, it was also closed, because apparently I forgot the hours on the door. They were listed. Anyway, so eventually, I actually went to the store and I actually bought one, well, two. I bought this one, and this one. This one was the earliest issue they had available. They had a collection, but it was really expensive, so I didn't go for it. And this one. Now, basically, the point of this review, I don't want to call it a review, per se. Maybe I can call it impressions. I really like this Spider-Man. You know, I came home, made myself some hot chocolate, read this one. I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. Then I read this one, and I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing, because this is the first one with Venom, and they made Venom look like gnarly. You know, got tendrils coming out all over the place, and he's like veined all over, and his tongue is ribbed and stuff. I mean, hunched over, elongated face, made him look a lot more monstrous, you know? And I thought that was really a good way to go with the character. Let's see if I can find a good picture of him there. Yeah. See that? Doesn't he look really weird? Look at him. It's like, yeah. I think they did a really good job with the character on that one. Anyway, so, for those of you who don't know, Miles Morales is the first African Spider-Man, he's half Latino, half African, darkest tone Spider-Man, how about that? And, I think it's really cool because he's, really the first, main Spider-Man that is, that's, colored. I mean, aside from Miguel O'Hara, but that didn't really last that long. I think, this be, the first major one, because it exists, in modern day, Basically, Miles, his uncle, the Prowler, steals these, spiders that were part of a similar program that created Spider-Man. It sneaks into his duffel bag, and when Miles goes to visit his uncle, the spider gets out of the bag, Miles is sitting on the couch, and all of a sudden the spider goes up and it goes, and, well, you can probably guess what happened after that. Crawling up walls and stuff. Some of the cool things I really love about the book is that, not the book, the character, the whole series in and of itself, is that the character of Miles Morales is much different than Peter Parker. I mean, he's in a much different situation, there are certain things about his life that are better and worse than Peter Parker's. The costume is redesigned. One of the things I really like about it is that when he's fighting a bad guy, he'll often be, in his inner monologue, and what he says sometimes, he'll be talking about, oh my god, I wonder how Peter Parker dealt with this, or when he's dealing with his home life, and he's thinking about, how to act around his family, he's like, oh my god, I wonder how Peter Parker dealt with this, and whatnot. I think it was really cool for them, make him kind of compare himself to him, try to live up to Peter Parker as Spider-Man. Additionally, where I'm at, he doesn't have any web shooters yet. I mean, which I think it's a really interesting way to go with that. Which, when I was reading it at first, I was like, wow, that's weird. But then I kept on reading on and noticed that he had different types of powers, that Peter Parker didn't have. He can turn invisible, he can, shock people using this, thing to shock... I'm not explaining it well, but it's pretty awesome in the here, Yeah, and he doesn't get web shooters until issue 14, which I think that's a really cool take on it. Kind of make him feel more amateur. That way he doesn't blatantly go against against Peter Parker. Plus, I think he's a really good role model for, like, Miles, in this case. I mean, he's a much different character than Peter Parker. I think for certain people nowadays, he can be more relatable, and I think it's a really good thing, and, I like a whole bunch of the other characters. His best friend Genki, who's the only one who, sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, is the only one who knows that he is Spider-Man, so, yeah. So, I really like the new Spider-Man, I think. I mean, not new-ish, published in 2011, late 2011. I just jumped on right now, and I really love it, when, like, I bought these two, and immediately after I went back and got issue 8, and now I'm gonna keep reading. I would go tomorrow, but the store's closed. Earthbound Comics, open every day except for Monday and Tuesday. Weird days, I don't know. Anyway, so that's it. Just an impressions video-ish. If you're wondering, yes, Batman. On there. All right.